Hello and welcome back to the final episode of my Deltarune playthrough. On today's episode we are going to be going over everything that I missed and also some extra things that I want to point out. So to start off, the gameplay background is going to be from a mod that I'm going to link below. It is pretty cool, so I highly recommend checking it out. So the first thing I'm going to go over is that I didn't do this in the playthrough, but if you put the egg you get in chapter 2, you can actually put it into Sandra's straw basket, which I'm showing you right now. I did forget to do some playthrough, so just in case you want to do it in your own. Right, so the next thing I want to cover is chess theory, which is the theory that every single boss in the game is going to follow a chess piece. For example, the king is a king piece, queen is a queen piece. The next villains are going to be rook pieces. Villain chapter 4 are going to be bishops. The villain chapter 5 is going to be a knight piece, aka the roaring knight. Chapter 6 is going to be pawns, and chapter 7 is probably going to be like a chess master or someone who's moving one of the pawns. There's a lot more to this though, such as king and queen's movements actually mirroring the chess pieces, and as well that the chapter 4 is rumoured to be a church, which adds more to the bishops, as well as already being a knight and being several characters who could work as pawns. Not just that, but Ted and Mike, who are probably going to be the main antagonists out of 3, from what we know about them, they could easily be considered rooks, with all the little information we know about them. And over, I'm now going to cover some teasers. For Theorem on the Tales anniversary, there was some teasers shown for Chapter 3 to 4, which I'm putting on my screen right now. These mostly talk about the Light World, specifically the Light World in Chapter 4. But there is one which goes over a green room inside of Chapter 3. And not just that, there's also a Spapton Sweepstakes event that was held, which showed off some footage of Chapter 3 as well as some character teasers. There's also been newsletters which have showcased some things for like updates as well as updates on the Tozer project. It also right now it is showcased an unused track for Chapter 3 called Sneaking, as well as a character from presumably Chapter 4, which seems to be a red solo cup. Now, moving on to something else, are AUs called alternate universes. Because the wait between chapters 2 and 3 and 4 are quite long, some people have honestly got to the point where they've started making judging themselves. These are called prediction alternate universes, like people who predict and your own take on a story. I have one myself. And most of these just follow people's own predictions for the game, as well as what they like to see. Some are in comics, some are actual games, some are smaller things. But it's just interesting because even if chapters 3 to 4 aren't out yet, people can still get excited for other projects people are doing related to the game by the way the actual games come out, which I quite like. And the next thing I'm going to talk about is the soul modes. As you know, Jewel and Spamton use soul modes. Jewel uses the red soul mode, and Spamton uses the yellow soul mode. The theory is that every other secret boss in the game is going to use a soul mode. These being purple, green, blue, cyan, and orange. All the soul modes that were shown in Undertale. Apart from cyan and orange, which though we know they exist, we are not sure if they actually have their own soul modes, which they should do, since they technically have their own versions of attacks in Undertale. It is theorized they're going to go into Reverse Undertale. So, if you went from the last boss up to the first one, it would go in order of yellow, chapter 3 purple, chapter 4 green, and chapter 5 will be blue. Then orange and cyan would be chapter 7. Chapter 6 and 7. This is because the first item you can get is for the cyan soul color human, and the other one after it is Odin. The secondary Undertale is for orange. So that if you keep going in reverse, that would make sense. And now to cover my own personal predictions, I have a lot. The main ones are going to just be explain Chapter 3 to 4. So my main prediction Chapter 3 is that we know it's going to be mostly TV and entertainment themed, but something I can also predict is that the secret boss is going to be on the flowers inside of the dream house. We know with the secret boss it's probably going to be on some sort of discarded object, some ignored thing. So having it on these discarded flowers makes a lot of sense. Something else is what Lightners are going to appear here. I believe Lightners are going to appear here are Toriel and Asgore, Chris's parents. Again, Toriel knows going to be here because she was in the house when Dark World was made, as well as a theme possibly being on one of the scrap tracks. And Asgore because, well, it would make sense for him to be in exactly the same chapter that Toriel is, as well as the fact that there's a chance that the villains, Mike and Tenna, were in some sort of relationship based on some of the hints we've gotten from the newsletters. And so having a divorced couple as the main Lightners in this chapter would make a lot of sense, as well as one of the characters we've already seen are already madly in love. So there being some sort of love theme for the chapter, with sort of a minor motif throughout, which kind of goes with the TV one, would make a lot of sense. As for chapter 4, I could already say now, I think it is going to take place inside of a church. Rudy in chapter 2 says that he is planning on going to church service tomorrow, and we'd fight him at the end of the day. Chapter 4 will take place when we wake up, aka the next day. Notice so, the one enemy that was teased, or the NPC, don't know what that yet, this is chapter 4, whereas it looks like a red solo cup, which in-game dialogue shows that Chris, presumably, the church uses cups for sick fruit juice, aka wine, as well as there being a teaser which shows Susie using a cup to drink out of the fruit juice, which could honestly be what the dark world could honestly be the red solo cup, and that could become the cup in the dark world. And my theory for the secret boss would be that it is going to be a fallen angel. Using the elements which were teased on a Twitter post from a Q&A, we know that there are 3 more elemental pairs which have not been shown, which are Darkstar, Thunder and Light, as well as Death and Scythe. If it goes in order, it would be Chapter 3, Darkstar, Chapter 4, Thunder Light, Chapter 5, Death Scythe. Although, there is an opportunity for Chapter 5 with Death Scythe to actually be Jewels. So, that's something to keep in mind. And, now, I'm going to cover the current development updates and predictions for possible release time Chapter 3 to 4. So, as I am recording this, the last newsletter that was released was the Valentine's newsletter in February of 2024, which, as I'm recording this, released about 3 months ago. We're expecting a new newsletter this month, which could shed some light on the development, but for now, we're going to be going off this. Chapter 3 is currently finished. Translation is presumably finishing up, any porting, any bug testing has probably already begun by now. Chapter 4 is everything that we have gotten. Most people agree that the chapter is about 70%-ish complete, maybe a bit more, a bit less. If we use the 3 months, but usually between releases of the games, it is predicted that this game is going to release late this year. So, September, October, November, December, around that time. Personally, I'm leaning more towards November and December though, because we still need time to translate and report on bug test, which I wouldn't. They've probably already begun translating now, but they're probably gonna go into overdrive translation. One chapter is content complete, which I'm imagining by maybe late summer, August time, September, it'd be content complete, which is then again going to overdrive translation. And with that, I think I've covered most of the stuff I want to talk about. There could always be something else. So I'd recommend just playing the game yourself if you haven't already. I would recommend checking out our theory tool mate. I would recommend checking out newsletters yourself. There's a website which I'm going to link below, which has a art of every newsletter that's been released. so you can be up to date on all of the development info as well as the teasers. So with that is the end of the Deltarune playthrough. Honestly, I think it went pretty well. There was some stuff I couldn't cover, but I didn't want to spend ages in each section because that would take a while. So, well done, said. I will see you guys when I do a possible chapter 3 playthrough. I doubt I will, but if I do, then I'll let you know. Until then, see ya.